I mean, you are always working. You're always so busy. To be a miracle if I can lock you down. It seems that I have to lock you in advance before I can even talk to you. For those present in my life, it seems like I'm always absent. Like I'm always on the move, as if I'm chasing after something or running away from someone, something, or maybe myself. The psychologists have a term referred to as cognitive dissonance. And they believe that it's a state of mind where we are constantly battling with our inner thoughts, our behaviors, and what we do. So it's almost like an internal divide trying to harmonize our behaviors with our thoughts. And when this harmony fails to exist, it's referred to as internal conflict. Now we all know about conflict. It's the tension you face between two parties, and usually you try to resolve it. The default answers to a conflict will be fight, flight, or freeze. Most of us know fight. It's when you meet someone who is very abrasive. All he wants to do is meet you at your point of contention, battle it out, and make sure that he's the superior. Flight is more common with Ghanaians because Ghanaians tend to avoid confrontations. So whenever there's a conflict, you see the Ghanaian backing away. And freeze is not knowing what you want to do. But what happens when the person you are fighting with is yourself? When you can't seem to run away from the battle that's within. This project is supposed to explore how we fight, we deal with our conflicts, and how I personally deal with my conflicts. And I'd like to explain to you with a story how I deal with my inner conflict. See, growing up, I had a dad who looked for perfection, and so almost nothing was good enough if it wasn't 100%. What that did was, it made me strive to always give up the best, and nothing I did seemed to be enough. And so I would always be on the move, trying to give my 100%. What it also did was that it kept me on the move, trying to find the best way to become the best version of myself, and made me constantly strive for perfection. How does this tie into my inner conflict? It made me restless. I constantly had to prove that I wasn't lazy, constantly had to run away from the thought of not being enough, and that created an inner conflict within me. So how do I deal with a conflict like this? I woke up last Wednesday super anxious. I had a meeting and I had no idea what I was going to do. I felt like this was weighing over my head. I was going to talk to someone about investment and I didn't feel like I had prepared enough. So my first reaction was to run away. To stay at home and call in sick, say, hey, I'm sorry, we don't meet next week. At least then I'll prepare enough. Because I didn't feel I was well prepared. But then I just had a conversation the previous night with a friend. We had read the book Flight Plan, and we had explored different ways we deal with our situations. So instead of running away, I decided to listen to some good playlists. By the time I was on my fourth playlist, I was pumped. Did some push-ups, took a shower, and headed for the meeting. I think the meeting went great. But I would have otherwise run away. Earlier this year, I came across a framework that you can use to analyze how you deal with social behaviors and how you interact and react to social cues. This framework is referred to as the Enneagram. It's a way of you measuring how you deal with people, and it has 9 different points. I identify as a 7 on the Enneagram. Now, 7s are enthusiasts. They are the ones that you find in a public space, pumping up the crowd, exciting everyone, spreading love and happiness with Jews. Yeah. So you know that the enthusiast is going to excite you. We live for the fullness of life. You want to get the whole experience, but at the same time, the enthusiast is afraid of conflicts. And the best way they deal with it is to run away. So the enthusiast is most likely going to say, hey, why are we fighting? Everybody is okay, chill. Just to diffuse the situation. And I realized that's how I have been dealing with my conflicts. That's why I noticed that the people in my life seem to think that I'm always on the move, because I'm not comfortable being alone with myself to deal with my inner conflict. So how do you deal with it? What's the best way to go about it? Like I did when I had a meeting, you have to speak to yourself. Find out why you are having this conflict and where you can find a resolution or the meeting point, and decide to go ahead with it. Is it the best way to overcome a difficult situation? Is to go